Martha's Vineyard Island is located off the coast of Massachusetts. My husband's ancestors were members of the Aquinnah Wampanoag tribe, who were there long before it became a vacation destination for celebrities. Along its many beaches were plants like these edible beach plums, which were recently featured on the cover of their tribal newsletter. I used to think they grew primarily by the ocean and in other coastal areas similar to where I spent my summers. They had to be hardy to stand up to the winds and salty air when they grew by the ocean. But recently they've become more common inland. Now, far away from any beach, we have one in our garden. Because these small deciduous shrubs don't need much care, they are planted as ornamentals. They may reach up to 6 feet tall, prefer full sun, and are often found growing near Rosa rugosa. In early May, before their leaves appear, these native shrubs are covered with an array of delicate, showy white flowers, which attract various pollinators. This bumblebee seems pretty excited to find them. This is a good sign, because many edible fruits may be available to gather later on. Their bark is grayish-brown with little lines. Be careful, as some shrubs have spines on side branches. The toothed leaves are dark green, grow alternately on the stem, and have distinctive whitish veins on their undersides. Don't worry if you see these pupae of the Asian ladybug. They're searching for aphids and are gone by the time fruits ripen. In the fall, these leaves turn several shades of red, yellow, and orange. At first, fruits are green or pale yellow and definitely not ready to eat, although unripe ones are a source of a natural pectin to use for jelly and jam making. As summer begins to yield to autumn, fruits begin to ripen, usually in late August into September. They seem to be ready to eat earlier than in the past. One year they produce loads of plums, and the next only a few, which may have something to do with the temperature at bloom time. Fruits don't ripen all at once. Check them daily. Keep watching and waiting to see which ones are ready. Both ripe and unripe fruits are often on the same shrub. Sometimes it's difficult to determine when they're ripe. I used to believe they were ready when they were dark purple, but since there are several more varieties available, they come in different colors that remind me of grapes. Usually they're a 1/2 inch or 1 inch in diameter, but these cultivated ones are much larger and look like jumbo marbles. Often they're covered with a whitish bloom. This is harmless and acts as a barrier to protect their skins from bacteria and insects. Each fruit has a small inedible pit. Their flavor is sweet, sometimes tart, or a combination of the two. Since this varies from bush to bush, taste test a sample to get the best ones. These are loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C, and, as I mentioned before, are high in pectin, especially the unripe ones. By the end of August, I was faced with a dilemma. My small beach plum bush had fairly ripe fruits, but some that weren't. I checked them often, as I suspected opportunistic animals were doing the same thing. I was right. A few days later, birds had partially eaten and ruined several fruits. I decided to pick the remaining ones, even though I'd heard fruits wouldn't ripen off the bush. I put them on a sunny windowsill in the early morning and hoped for the best. After several days, I placed them in a paper bag to help them mature. They did ripen, although they weren't as sweet as I would have liked. Thanks to my good friend Cynthia, I was able to gather ripe beach plums from the many shrubs in her garden, and I didn't have to coax them to ripen fully like I did with mine. She has ones with small and large fruits. Both yielded a sweet harvest, though the skins of the larger ones were tougher. So what to do with these fruits? Most people are acquainted with them as popular ingredients in jellies or jams, which are often sold in stores on Cape Cod or the islands. Since these condiments usually contain high amounts of sugar, I enjoy these fruits in different ways. By far the easiest method is to pick them right off the bush, eat, and spit out the seeds. These were picked at the end of September and are so sweet, gorgeous. Store other ones in the fridge for a quick snack. To make an unusual ice cream topping, remove the pits and pulp from several fruits. This is tedious. Take this colorful goo and sprinkle it over ice cream for a pleasant contrast of colors, like I did with this pistachio flavor. I save the skins, dry, and cut them into bits. Add these to cooked cereals or use them as a mini version of fruit leather. To make a mixed fruit sauce, cut the plums in half and remove and discard the pits. I include the skins along with the pulp because they're rich in nutrients. Place both in a pan with a small amount of water and cook them with other fruits, which are available at the same time, like chopped apples, blueberries, and late summer raspberries. Simmer them until all ingredients are somewhat soft. What? No sugar? Blending these together is sweet enough for me, but add whatever you want. Combine this chunky version with yogurt or ice cream. Or if you prefer, blend this so it's smoother. This is thick and can be added to various recipes. I placed some of this on top of a slice of my blueberry cake and froze any excess pulp to use later. To make a small amount of plum juice, pick fruits when they're at peak ripeness. Add 3 cups of them to 3/4 of a cup water and simmer gently until they soften. This should take about 10 minutes. Crush the fruit with a masher. Filter the juice through a strainer and let it drip into a bowl. This is the first step in making jelly, but because I only want the juice, I press and press the pulp to get as much liquid as possible. Taste the juice and add a small amount of sweetener if it's too tart. These 3 juices are made from plants that are available at the same time. Plum juice is on the left, along with the juices of hickory and aronia. They're an unconventional and uncommon addition to smoothies. These are but a few ideas of what to do with these versatile fruits. I imagine there are many other ways to experiment with them. How have you used them? Beach plums may become popular as more and more people want to grow native plants. They're a winning combination of beauty, edibility, and ease of cultivation.